Okay, hello everybody. This is Math 6 here, Grade 6 Math. We're getting ready to do 8.1. This is my email here for a request, catalog request. 8.1 is understanding percent. And the standard here is 6.rp.3c. Find a percent of a quantity as a rate per 100. And we have 39 classwork points and then 0 notebook points for this. And okay, let's do this. Here's our bell work, students. As you come into the classroom, start on this. Homeschoolers, this is your warm-up. Write an equivalent fraction here for 9/12. You can multiply the numerator and denominator by anything. If you wanted to, it'd be equivalent. As long as what you do to the numerator, you do to the denominator. You multiply a numerator by the same number. Give your students about 3-4 minutes. Then do a reveal here. This is 3/6. We simplified that. We didn't simplify this. We multiplied both by what? 3. Then here we have 5. What did we do to 25? We divided by 5. Then here we went from 12 to 36. What we multiplied by 3. So what would the denominator be here? 45. Okay, classwork, page 1. We usually start out with a reading exercise here, a reading startup. Visualize vocabulary here. Use check words to complete the graphic. Here's our check words here. Reviewing fractions and decimals. Decimal, equivalent fractions, fraction, ratio. Here's ratio again. And then simplest form. We've seen these words before. They're not preview words. Okay, so 0.25, reviewing fractions and decimals. What would this be as a fraction here? Well, as a fraction, it'd be 25/100. But in this form here, it is a decimal. And then 3/4 and 3/24, what's that? That is a fraction. This is a fraction, and then this is a ratio. And then 2/3 equals 6/9. What's that? Equivalent fractions. And then 4/8, when it becomes 1/2, it has been simplified into simplest form, and it is an equivalent fraction. Page 2 of our classwork here, understanding vocabulary, match the term on the left, the correct expression to the right. So here are our preview words, equivalent decimals, model, percent, and then proportional reasoning. Here are our new preview words. So for percent, which one of these definitions would match with percent? A ratio that compares a number to 100. Model, something that represents another thing would be a model. And then equivalent decimals, decimals that name the same amount. So there is our match there. Notebook, students, page 3 on your notebook, explore activity. Using a grid to model percents. Now we can use a grid that will give a visual representation of percentages. Page 4 of our classwork here. A percent is a ratio that compares a number to 100. The symbol is this symbol here, is the percent symbol, used to show a percent. 17% is equivalent to 17 over 100, is it not? 17% means 17 divided by 100, or 17 to 100. 17 to 100 would be your fraction bar, would be the symbol for 2, or divided by, or 17 and then your full colon here, same thing as 2. 17 to 100, 17 to 100. The free throw ratios of 3 basketball players are shown here. Player 1, player 2, and then player 3. 33 to 50, 17 to 25, 14 to 20. Page 5 of our classwork. Rewrite each ratio as a number compared to 100. Then shade the grid to represent the free throw ratio. So we have 10 by 10 grid here, a percentile grid. Okay, 17 to 25 equals how many over 100? What did we do to our denominator to get 100? We multiplied by 4, yes? So we got to multiply 17 by 4. What's 17 times 4? 68. So we have to shade in 68 here of our grid here. This is a visual representation of this here. This is a representation of that. Page 6 of your class worksheet. Rewrite each ratio as a number compared to 100, then shade the grid to represent the free throw ratio. We're on A again here. Player 2. 33 over 50 equals how many over 100? 66 over 100. And then how would you shade your percentile grid for that? You'd shade in 66, wouldn't you? We'll see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 6 over here, 60, 2, 4, 5, 6. 66 of these squares are shaded, and then 34 are not. So this would be a visual representation of that. Page 7 on your class worksheet, and then we're back to A, part C, player 3. 14 over 20, how would that be represented as a number over 100? Be 70 over 100, so what would you do here? You would shade in 70 here, 70 of your squares. This is a visual representation of that. Then we go into our homework. Which player has the greatest free throw ratio? So to fill that in, go back into your class worksheet, students, to find that answer. How is this shown on grids? Explain how that was represented on your percentile grids. Use a percent to describe each player's free throw ratio. Write the percents in order from least to greatest, from the worst to best free throw ratios. Page 2 of your homework. How did you determine how many squares to shade on each grid? Shade the grid to represent the ratio 9 over 25. Then find a equivalent to the given ratio here. Page 3 of your homework. This is the answer sheet. If you need more room, attach a sheet. 9 points. Shade the grid for this. And then shade the grid for this ratio here as well. Shade the grid here. Page 4 of your homework. Shade the grid for that ratio. Shade the grid here for this ratio too. Excuse me. Page 5. Then page 6 on your homework. You have 2 word problems here. And then page 7 of your homework. Circle the greater quantity, and you should know this by now. Okay, thank you very much. 8.1, contact me here. Have a good day.